Chapter 2. Workplace Woes. Tunde arrived at the office early the next morning, as he always did. The streets of Lagos were already alive with the sounds of the day beginning. The calls of street vendors, the rumble of buses, the calls of their conductors, and the distant hum of the city's energy. He felt a familiar mixture of hope and dread as he walked into the office building, hoping that today might bring some change, some recognition for his hard work. The office was a typical corporate environment. Rows of cubicles, tables and chairs, the hum of computers and the soft murmur of colleagues starting their day. Tunde made his way to his desk, situated in a corner where he had little interaction with others. He preferred it that way, focusing on his work without distractions. Mr. Ade, his manager, was already in the office, peering at a spreadsheet with a frown. Tunde knew better than to expect a greeting or acknowledgement. He settled into his seat and began his tasks for the day, reviewing financial reports and preparing for a meeting with the senior accountants. Despite the monotony, Tunde took pride in his work. He was meticulous and thorough, qualities that should have made him a prime candidate for promotion. However, year after year, he watched as colleagues with less experience and fewer accomplishments were promoted ahead of him. It was disheartening, but he kept his frustration in check, knowing that losing his temper wouldn't help his situation. Mid-morning, Tunde's phone rang. It was Adebayo, a colleague who had joined the company around the same time as Tunde, but had quickly climbed the corporate ladder. "Tunde, how is it going?" Adebayo's voice was cheerful, a stark contrast to Tunde's mood. "Good, good. Just busy with the usual," Tunde replied, forcing a smile. "Listen, I heard there might be an opening in the senior accounting team soon. Have you thought about applying?" Tunde's heart skipped a bit. "Really? I hadn't heard that. Thanks for the tip, Adebayo." "No problem, man. You deserve it. Good luck." The conversation lifted Tunde's spirits. He spent the rest of the day polishing his resume and drafting a compelling cover letter. By the time he left the office, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. That evening, he shared the news with Dolapo. They sat together in the small living room after putting the girls to bed. Dolapo's eyes sparkled with cautious hope as she listened. "That's wonderful, my love. You've worked so hard for this. I'm sure you'll get it," she said, squeezing his hand. "I hope so, darling. We could really use the extra income. I want to give you and the girls the life you deserve," Tunde replied, feeling a surge of determination. The next few days were a blur of activity. Tunde submitted his application and prepared for the interview, balancing his regular workload with his preparations. He knew the competition would be tough, but he was confident in his abilities. The day of the interview arrived, and Tunde felt a mix of nerves and excitement. He dressed in his best suit and arrived at the office early. Introduction, pitch, and reviewing his notes one last time. The interview went well. The panel seemed impressed with his experience and dedication. A week later, Tunde was called into Mr. Ade's office. He entered with a hopeful smile, but that hope quickly faded when he saw the look on Mr. Ade's face. "Tunde, we appreciate your application, but we've decided to go with another candidate for the senior accounting position," Mr. Ade said flatly. Tunde felt like the ground had opened and pulled out from under him. "Why? I ask why, sir?" Mr. Ade sighed. "It was a tough decision, Tunde. The other candidate just had a bit more experience in certain areas. Keep up the good work, and there will be other opportunities. Tunde nodded numbly and left the office. As he walked back to his desk, he felt the weight of the rejection settling heavily on his shoulders. He knew he had done his best, but it wasn't enough. The familiar feeling of frustration and helplessness returned, more intense than ever. That evening, he struggled to find the words to tell Dolakbo. When he finally did, she was silent for a long moment and then sighed. "I'm sorry, my love. I know how much this meant to you," she said, her voice tinged with disappointment. "We'll keep trying, darling. Something will come up," Tunde replied, though his own voice lacked conviction. As the days turned into weeks, Tunde continued to face the same challenges at work. He threw himself into his tasks, hoping that this dedication would eventually be recognized. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was stuck in a cycle that would never change.